Yeah, we are live.
Excellent, excellent. Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. My name is Dave Chalmers. My partner in crime is Addy, Saeed. We're running REMarkTO. There's a few people in the room tonight, and hopefully there'll be more people watching. We're feeding it live, and there will be a link posted on our Facebook page. If you're online now, if you want to share it with your friends, that'd be great. The idea is to drive people to the broadcast of it, as opposed to trying to get a whole lot of people in the room all the time. So if you could do that.
The hashtag.
Then the hashtag is what?
REMarkTO.
Hashtag is REMarkTO, REMarkTO. And you should find a link, and that'll, if you want to share it with your friends on all your social platforms, that'd be wonderful. The REMarkTO is a real estate sales marketing training thing. That's what we do. Once a month we meet. The whole idea is to have it be free. We have experts come in. We have people who really know what they're talking about coming in to talk to us. There's not people that are going to just tell you what you should do. There are people that are going to come in and tell you what they do and what they do to build a business and make more money. And it's our goal is to deliver that kind of coaching and help to people, and do it for nothing. Do it for free. But if we only get 8 or 9 people in the room, it makes it hard to justify doing it every month. So let's get people out in the broadcast, so send out that message, please, and get people watching. It makes it a lot more fun. If you're out online now watching, there should be you have the ability to ask some questions. If you have any, as Rebecca's speaking, if you have something that you want to talk about, just post it on our Facebook page. We'll try and pick it up, and we'll try and get those questions answered as well. We're really lucky tonight. Tonight we have Rebecca Mountain with us, Rebecca Spencer Mountain with us.
Rebecca Mountain's good.
Rebecca is an expert in social media and Facebook advertising. Rebecca has traveled all over North America sharing information. She gets paid a lot of money. She spoke at Vegas, TED Talk in Vegas. Yeah. Last week she was flown down to Boston to talk. She's traveled for the Canadian Real Estate Association.
I'm going to Belfast in September.
She's going to Belfast in September. And I get a big suitcase, I'll go with you.
Yes.
And we're very fortunate to have her here. What we're hearing tonight, a lot of people pay a lot of money to get. It's cutting edge, it's as good as it gets. It's really special tonight for me though, because every time we do one of these, every month when we do one of these, I'd like to point out where we came from. And I met Rebecca at REMarkTO 2010.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Yeah, that's right.
In 2010. I was presenting that night, and Rebecca was sitting in the crowd.
I was eavesdropping.
You were eavesdropping, absolutely. She had, at that time, I don't think you had a real estate client, did you?
Nope, I had just started. I didn't have a single client at that point.
Just fresh out of the box, and we met at this particular, at this exact function. And out of that came a great friendship. Mm-hmm. But out of these same meetups came a lot of really cutting edge information. It's just phenomenal. If for those people that are here for the first time, buckle up, because what you're going to hear is really amazing. And make it a point to come back next month. It's just fantastic. And we got a really good set of speakers lined up for next month as well, so I'll share that with you at the end of the night. Rebecca's going to talk for half an hour, 45 minutes, or until she gets tired of talking.
That's hours.
And at the end of it, there'll be the opportunity for questions and a dialogue. So don't get up and run away, okay? Without any further ado, Rebecca.
Thank you, David. So welcome everyone who is here, and welcome everyone who's online. Hello. I know for those of you online, it's hard to see the screen. If you want, you can PM me on Facebook and I can send you my slides. Happy to do that. And if anybody here wants these slides, I will also send it to you. Just give me your business card or PM me on Facebook. You can do it right now while you're watching. I'm happy to send those over to you. So what I'm going to be sharing with you right now is there's lots of different ways you can do advertising on Facebook. So I manage accounts for people, and I try to not only just build communities and post on their accounts, but I also generate leads. So this lead ads is a type of ad. So when you go into create an ad on Facebook, you go into the drop down menu, create ads. There's about 11 different objectives, 11 different types of ads you can do. Lead ads is fairly new, and they keep on expanding it. I have run in the past what I call website click ads. So someone clicks on an ad on Facebook, and it takes them to a landing page where hopefully they fill in a form, and in exchange, you give them something of value, which is great. However, recently what I found is I'll send thousands of people to a landing page, like literally thousands, zippity-doo-dah people will put in their information. When I looked through the statistics, I realized that these are primarily very, very mobile. Okay, so 80 to 90% of interactions with advertisements is happening on your mobile device. So when you think about that, you need to make it as easy as possible for someone to give you their information, okay, so that you can now do follow-up. That is your job, right? So if you guys want to create a new relationship with someone, you kind of have to be able to contact them in some way, shape, or form. So I had a couple of these campaigns that were dead in the water. My clients were ready to fire me, and I don't blame them. So what I did is I flipped them over to a lead ad, and the results were instantaneous and incredible. I went from no leads for about 2 or 3 weeks, which to me is terrifying, right? I want to get like lead per day kind of a thing. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And these are high quality leads. These aren't just leads that you buy off the internet. Okay, these are leads that are targeted to your specific group of people that you want to get in touch with. And we went to 1 to 2, 2 or 3 leads per day. And that's for every single campaign that I switched over to what I'm going to teach you tonight. So I hope that you guys can find this really useful. The other thing that I'm going to be able to dispense with you is the latest and greatest on the new rules for Facebook ads. They just rolled out June the 8th. Okay, so I was talking with my handy dandy Facebook advertisement advisor at Facebook. Yes, a human at Facebook talks to me every 2 weeks. And knowing that I was coming here tonight, I went and I picked his brain on what else, if there's anything else new that I need to share with you. So everything I'm telling you is what Facebook knows, not only what I know. So that's kind of what you guys get to tonight. So lead ads are very, very simple. Okay, they're the newest way of getting conversions. Getting people to a website is great. Getting a name that you can actually, follow up with on email is fantastic. Getting a phone number that you can actually use to call someone that's not pizza is even better. And that's what you can get with your lead ads. So traditional lead generation, you see an ad, you click on it, goes to a landing page. And in order to get to either register, whether it's signing up for a newsletter or whether it's you're offering something like a document, right? So I create campaigns all the time. One of the most recent ones that I created was 3 ways to win a bidding war. Okay, so you guys know how ridiculous it is out there now. Clients are not afraid of selling their home, they're afraid of becoming a buyer. And so what you do is you don't run a campaign of what's your home worth, because it's like probably 350 over asking, right? So they know that they can get that for a home. What they're terrified is being on the other side of the table. Okay, so how do you get a listing? Not by helping them to get their home ready to sell. You get to them by helping them become that buyer and to not be afraid. And then you build that relationship and you flip it around. Okay, so I did a campaign like that and it was going nowhere. The reason lead ads work so well and why they're so much better than that strategy is when someone sees the ad on their Facebook, on their mobile, or in what's called Audience Network. So Audience Network, anybody ever heard of Audience Network? You can't, you're cheating. Okay. No, nobody. Okay. When you're building an ad, you can decide where you want that ad to be placed. You can say, I want it to be on a desktop news feed. I want it to be in mobile news feed. I want it to go to Instagram. Or there's this new fancy dancy thing that no one knows what it is called Audience Network. And what that is when you're on Huffington Post and you're scrolling through an article and you come across an ad that kind of pops up, that's Audience Network. So Facebook buys ad space in external third-party apps. Clash of Clans, that's your ad. Huffington Post, that's you again. Globalmail.com online, your ad can appear there as well. Okay, so it can be within Facebook in instant articles, but it can also be in a whole bunch of other third-party apps. There's 3 different types of ads. Don't need to go into what they look like, but there's 3 different ways that your ad will appear. But the point is, it's on a mobile device, primarily a mobile device. The beauty of a lead ad and why it's better than a traditional landing page is that when someone clicks on the button, say, yeah, I'm interested in whatever you're offering. So whether it's registering for a newsletter or signing up for, say you're having a buyer seminar and you want people to register, you want them to come. When they click on that button, the form shows up, but their information is preloaded. Ooh, you have no idea how lazy people are, right? They do not want to take the time to type in their information. So what happens is you can choose all the different fields that you want to collect. My advice is to check email, because you want to gather that, full name, those are the 2 standard ones, and add the phone number. Now, phone number is not a required field, but the cool thing about phone number is no one knows that. So they give it to you. And it's not pizza, because you have to have a real phone number on your Facebook account in order for it to be verified. So when I switched over to here, because my hypothesis was, it's not that people didn't want what the campaign was offering. is that they were just busy. They were floating around. They were in line at the bank. They were off doing this, that. They don't want to type in their name and then type in their email. And I can't type on this thing to save my life, right? I'm the one finger typer who does this, right? And I misspell every second word. And so because people don't want to do that, if you serve it up to them like, hey, you want this thing? Guess what? I'll make it even easier. I'll stick your information on here. They're like, okay. 100% of the leads that I have collected using this system gave me their real phone number. Okay, that is like nirvana when you're looking at attracting dead cold leads. These are people who don't know you. So now you're going from someone who's never heard of you to someone that you can now actually talk to on the phone. It gives you 2 ways to follow up with those people. One is through email, which you all should all do. And the other one is through phone and or text, okay? That is why lead ads are like my favorite thing in the whole world. There are 3 ways that you can develop a lead ad. So how many of you guys here have already done ads on Facebook of any kind? You're kind of like cheating. Okay, he's like the digital marketing guy for Bosley, so he's done like everything. Okay, so for those of you who have not done ads on Facebook and those of you online who haven't done ads on Facebook, there's different ways of creating ads. You can have just a straight image, right? So that's the standard way of doing an ad. You can have a video. Okay, anybody ever do a video ad? Yeah? Okay, 30 seconds or less. After 10 seconds, you've lost about at least 1/3 of your audience. After 20 seconds, there goes the other third. And then the rest kind of trickle off after that. 30 seconds is, according to Facebook and according to YouTube, the best amount of time to spend creating a video. So you can create a video ad. You can also create what's called carousel. Now, you guys have listings, right? You want to know who's interested in getting information about that listing, right? So imagine creating a lead ad that preloads their information when they say, I'm interested, right? So you overcome the obstacle of I'm too lazy to type on my phone, which, by the way, about 100% of mobile users are. And with the carousel ad, you can upload up to 7 different images. And every time they click on that, any of one of those images, it goes to whatever website you have that's associated with that particular listing. So if you guys create 123mainstreet.com, and you create a carousel ad for that particular listing, you can choose which pictures you want to have uploaded. Because what do people want to see before they say, well, I'm interested in talking to you? They want to see a little bit more about that particular listing. So if you want to sell a listing faster, right, as if that's not fast enough already, but if you want to get the message out about that, or you have an open house, or you have anything you want to promote that needs more than one image, a carousel image, a carousel ad is a really great option for you to explore. Video and carousel are fairly new. Lead ads used to only be images. About 2 weeks ago, they introduced video, and I think I just looked at today, they also opened up carousel. I don't know how long that's been available. Whenever Facebook rolls out new features, that's kind of how they do it. They slowly roll it out because they are trying to get to about 1.6 billion active users. Okay? So that is how the different options you have in terms of when you do a lead ad. So lead ads used to be only mobile. Okay, so that preloading thing is the primary benefit as to why you should all go out and run a lead ad today. Alrighty? Lead ads used to only be mobile. However, they have opened it up to desktop as well. Okay, but like I said, 80% of interactions happen on a mobile device. When you run an ad, for those of you who have not run an ad before, or for those of you who have and just haven't checked, there's a thing called Ads Manager. You can go into Ads Manager and you can see exactly how mobile your responders are. So if you have an ad and it's like 97% mobile, go into the ad set, kill the desktop, because you can remove or add different ad placements. And then that way, what Facebook will do is it'll take all of your budget, funnel it towards the people who are responding most to your ad, and therefore you're not wasting your money on people who aren't going to respond to you anyway. Okay, it's one of the most important things you guys can do. Running an ad is not just turning it on and walking away. Running an ad is turning it on, 3 days later going and taking a look, right? Who's responding? Men, women, what age, what time, what device? 90% of my responders respond on an Android device. So when I run mobile ads, I don't do iOS. I only do Android. Why would I spend money on iOS if they're not going to respond? That's right. Direct marketing doesn't work anymore. How do you, if you have like, this is your postal code that you're going to, you really want to only send it to the people who are going to respond, but you have no idea who it's going to be. So you mail it out to everybody over and over and over. With a Facebook ad, you can do your initial send out and then you whittle it down to the people who really care. You scale up your budget and you go. Okay, so that is kind of why lead ads again are so good and so effective, is because they're literally tailored to the behaviors of the mobile audience. Okay, you can customize your form. You can put in custom fields. Okay, so you can add 3 questions. Like there's a whole bunch of fields you can add that are just kind of standard. You can ask for their marital status. Yes.
Are these ads at the right of the screen? Like I'm talking about on a desktop. Are they at the right of the screen or are they in the newsfeed?
They're in the newsfeed. It's mobile and desktop newsfeeds. Okay, and also in no, they're sorry. These are not in Audience Network. Okay, so it's not currently anyway. Okay, so like I said, Facebook's changing stuff. They love to do stuff where I'll teach something one day and the next day they change their minds and it's totally different. So yay, I love what I do. But no, these are newsfeed only ads. So when you log into Facebook newsfeed, for those of you who might not know, that's where it actually appears where you guys are looking at your content. Okay, so it's not on the right column. Yes.
The carousel, I've been in presentations where they've sworn, you know, if you want to get traffic, static image is the way to go. Carousels are, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the opposite as well. So can you just speak to that? Like, is one better than the other?
Carousel ads from, okay, so the algorithm is different. Okay, so in Facebook, we have what's called the EdgeRank algorithm, and it's all now called the newsfeed algorithm. That determines what goes into your newsfeed. Okay, so that's why you don't see all the posts of all your friends and pages and groups. In ads, it's called ad rank. And every ad has a different algorithm, right? So every ad type. So a lead ad algorithm will be targeting people that you say I want to go after, who have the highest propensity to fill out a form. A building awareness ad goes after people who are the most likely to just simply click like page, right? Within the ad itself, the weight of each one of the elements is going to be different. So image has been around forever. It has the lowest weight. Video is going to be, video is the top, carousel's kind of in the middle between the two. Really, it's use carousel when it makes sense. When you have a listing and people like to scroll through pictures, you use a carousel. Carousel has a higher weight than an image, right? Especially in your world, because people, and Facebook knows that people like to look at pictures of houses. Like, don't think Facebook hasn't picked up on that, right? They know very, very well that that's what people like. Especially if you're using words like just listed, new home, whatever in your ad copy, it reads that. And therefore, when it matches up that copy with those images, your ad is going to do better. Okay, so I like the idea of a carousel ad. If you're just doing it, like if I'm just doing a 3 ways to win a bidding war campaign, don't use carousel, right? For that, I would use a straight image. There's a whole new list of rules for images I'm going to share with you guys tonight. So you guys can go off and do it properly, because they completely changed the game. They've made it worse for us. Okay, not better. They're like, oh, it's great. There's no more rules. They lie. Okay, so I'll tell you about their lies and other stuff. Yes, no problem. Sorry?
What are the click-through rates on the carousel? Like the initial, first carousel image versus the other ones?
That one's a really hard one. So the question for those of you online who didn't hear is, what's the click-through rate difference between a carousel versus a video versus image? Is that about right? No?
Like within a carousel, there would be multiple listings.
You can have multiple listings. What I would suggest you do is 1 listing per ad, and then like kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, exterior, and that kind of a thing. Otherwise, your ad becomes diluted because now you have multiple things that you're kind of offering. So in terms of like which type of image will get a higher click-through rate, I can't really answer that. All I know is that people love kitchens, love kitchens. So you want to do an ad where you want to drive people in, do a kitchen, because they love absolutely that. After kitchens, it's bathrooms. Walk-in closets is a big one too. And so that those kinds of things will generally get you the biggest bang for your buck. But again, everything comes down to testing. So I can tell you something and you're going to run your ad and I will be completely wrong. That's why whenever I talk about, you know, click-through rates and averages and statistics and stuff, I have this massive caveat of, but everybody's target audience is different, right? So you literally have to go in and test and finagle it and then test it. And sometimes you blow it up and you start all over again, right? So it's a kind of a tricky question to answer, but I hope I've done at least a decent job in putting you in the right direction. Okay? Alrighty. So like I said about the form, you can customize it, right? So, but never ask for any more information than you really think you can reasonably collect, right? I thought my hypothesis was when I added a phone number into this form, there's no way someone was going to put that in. No way someone was going to allow their phone number to be used because the delivery was a PDF, right? It was the top 5 renovations to add 100,000 to the value of your home. Unless the realtor is going to call them and read it to them, I didn't see any need for collecting the phone number, but hypothesis can be proven wrong, and so I was. 100% of those people handed over their phone number, even though there was no reason for them to do so. It was just easy. It's like, oh, it's there. Oh, sure. Bunk. Away they go. Okay? So that's the really cool thing. The shorter the form, the better. Usually, and again, we were talking about HubSpot earlier before we began. HubSpot does a tremendous amount of research, and they have found that when a form exceeds 5 fields of information collected, your response rate goes down dramatically. Okay, I suggest 3. Why make it difficult for yourself, right? But the other thing you have to understand is unless you are automating this, and I'm going to talk about automation towards the end, you will lose your lead information after 90 days. Okay, so it's called Publishing Tools. It's in your Facebook page. So if you go to your Facebook page, right across the top, it's a button that says Publishing Tools. When you click on that, scroll down on the left-hand side, it says Forms Library. So whatever form you're using to collect information, they'll be there. And then you click, it'll show you the form, and you click Download. It gives you all the information. So if you don't have an automated CRM that will trigger a follow-up campaign, you can take that information and upload it directly. So whether you're using Constant Contact, I use Infusionsoft, or what have you, it allows you to then continue the automation sequence. Yes?
If you do collect that information, you don't have, CRM that's integrated. Where does the data go? Where, they fill in the information.
It goes into Facebook. It goes into Publishing Tools. Okay, so if you don't automate, if you don't do anything with it, it goes into Publishing Tools. You have to go into Publishing Tools, export it, and then put it into whatever system that you have. There's a lot of options for you, though, if you want to learn how to automate this. I love automation because I'm lazy, and I like to kind of start something and then watch it roll, but not have to necessarily do a whole bunch of manual tasks in between. Okay, now what I want to talk to you guys about is how to build an ad that people actually will click on, okay? Because there's a lot of ads, people are like, boring, 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 horrible, boring. My favorite was the ones where people don't crop themselves properly. So sometimes you take a picture and it's a square, but when you're running an ad, it's very horizontal. So there's this really awesome, I'm sure they were a great team of 3 real estate agents standing 1, 2, 3, but you didn't see this, you saw this, all of their crutch business. And so I went onto their page and I'm like, it's about your ad. I think you need to fix it. Just do this and that and please fix it. It was lovely zippers for their pants. Anyway, so that notwithstanding, there are some other rules that will help you to make sure that your ad does well, okay? So within the ad rank algorithm, there is a color saturation algorithm, okay? So there's like little algorithms and algorithms and algorithms. And so first of all, what does it look for? It looks for bright colors. It looks for red. Okay, so usually when I present this to Coldwell Banker or Century 21, they get very sad because it's not in their brand. So if red is in your brand, you are lucky. If not, you can always incorporate it by wearing it, putting bars, little call-out boxes and stuff like that. Say red, orange, yellow, or highly contrasting colors, okay? Anybody want to guess why red?
Red is black.
No, but good guess. We guess red. So when you go into the mall and there's sale signs, there's a reason they're red with white writing. It's because our eyes see and register red before any other color. They have the longest wavelength. Okay, so think of the color of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Okay, the ones at the bottom, don't do those. Do you know why Facebook doesn't like blue and purple? Because you're competing with the color on its background. It does not like that. Okay, it wants to be unique in its color scheme. And so if you're using pastel colors, your ad will not do as well as if you're using bold colors. Okay, other thing, value-based messages. So if I see an ad from you guys and it is like something like, you know, come talk to me because I'm great. Yay, that compels me to do absolutely nothing. If you tell me, I was talking to a realtor today and she had an offer with a mortgage broker where she would give $300 off an inspection for a home. That's what you put in your ad on the image itself, right? Save $300 on your inspection, on your home inspection. That's compelling. So if someone's looking at getting an inspection on a home, seeing that message compels them to say, oh, I want to pay attention, right? If I saw an ad that had an image that said cloning device invented, click here, I'd be like, click. I'd be clicking it so hard my fingers would bleed, right? I need a cloning machine, something hardcore, right? Now, the 20% rule, blessed 20% rule. That was the rule that has existed up until and including June the 7th. As of June the 8th, it has changed. Okay, remember what I said, not for the better, but I'll explain in just a little bit. So 20% rule meant that if you had an image and you were going to put words on it, it could not exceed 20%, okay, in terms of the entire space. And what Facebook did is actually carved up an image into boxes, and it could only have text in 5 of those boxes. You had to take this overlay, put it on top of your image, count 5 boxes, make sure not even a curly Q of your text went into the 6th box, and then it would go through. So if ever you got your ad rejected, 9 times out of 10, it's because you had too much text, drove people bonkers. Well, they have removed the rule. They've actually said, like I said, they've made it worse. So you really still need to keep it under 20%, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Okay? If you want to identify outcomes, right? What are people going to get when they click on that ad? If I'm signing up for a newsletter, what's that newsletter going to give to me? I do a weekly tip of the week. I give you free information, whatever you want to know, right? You don't have to pay for it. You guys aren't paying to be here. It's kind of the same kind of thing. It's like a newsletter, but live. Okay? People want to know what that is. And power words: get, free, join, top, strategy, tactic, like exact. All of those words are words that are very compelling for people. If you're interested, like if you want me to send you this presentation, I can send you my favorite blog about writing, which is 317 power words. So depending on what kind of mood or action you're trying to get from people, it has 317 words you can choose from, and those are the words you want to have on the image itself. Okay, because when you're scrolling, okay, do not leave your most incredible message for the copy. Because when I'm scrolling on my in my Facebook, I'm not looking at that. What's catching my eye is what's either moving, right? So a video, or it's got a really bright image that is either funny, compelling, or it's got a really cool, you know, call out value message on it. Once you have achieved their attention, then they'll pay attention to the copy, and you can kind of, again, reinforce what it is that you're offering. Okay, if you're not running an ad that has something compelling, you're not going to get any click-through. So you can put the biggest budget and the most amazing image out there, but if I don't think I'm going to get anything, I'm not going to hand over my information. What a lead ad, actually any ad that drives to a landing page or any form, you now are exchanging currency. My information in exchange for, what are you going to give me? If I don't think that what you're going to give me is valuable, I'm not giving you my information. And there's an incredible amount of fear that people have in handing over information to what could be a complete stranger. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to call me at dinner? Are you going to email me 17 times in a day? Maybe they've had a bad experience. Maybe not with you, but with somebody else. You don't know. So there's a lot of cynicism. The perceived value of what you're going to give me has to exceed my fear in handing you my information. If you think that what you have can do that, Bob's your uncle. Okay? If not, revisit it, think about the value that you're offering, and jack it up a little bit, okay? So that's what you want to do. Targeting and budgeting. These are the 2 other things that'll screw up your ad. Okay, first of all, targeting. When you do an ad, you can target postal codes. You can target FSAs, which is the first 3 digits of a postal code. You can take a pin, drop it, and that'll go to a certain radius. You can drop a series of pins, Okay, so I was working with a client in the beach area. So we dropped pins all the way along the lakeshore because we wanted to capture everyone who was already living in those particular areas. Okay, so targeting must be aligned with what you're offering. One of the things you should also do is try to avoid, say you wanted to go to, oh, for sake of example, everybody in Toronto. If you created an ad for everyone in Toronto, your ad will die. Why? Because it's way too general, and unless you're spending $1 million a month, you're not going to hit the right people. Okay, so, and this kind of goes into targeting and budgeting are very much interrelated in terms of why they're so important and how you need to use them. So you can go to all of Toronto if you're focusing on people who are divorcing. And I created a campaign for a client in Hamilton, and it is 3 real estate mistakes to avoid when you're divorcing. And we went after everyone who is divorced, separating, or it's complicated in Burlington, Oakville, and Hamilton. And that ad campaign has been generating 2 to 3 leads a day. It's not a huge geographic space, but it's big enough, okay? But what we've done is we've taken a big geographic space, but we've gone to a very targeted demographic. Now, conversely, you can also do like an FSA or a series of FSAs, right, or postal codes, but then go to a much more generalized market, right? So say you want to do everybody in like South or like the downtown core, but you want to find people who are interested in condo living or you want a retirement living or something like that. Put in a little bit of interest targeting because again, and this is something I found out from like my dude, my Facebook advertising analyst at Facebook, that human I get to speak to. He was saying if you don't put any interest targeting in there, Facebook assumes you don't know what you're doing and your ad will do worse. Okay, doing worse means it doesn't get shown because Facebook will give credence and more time and more reach to the advertisers who look like they know how to use the platform. Okay, similarly with budget, okay? A target audience is not evenly distributed. So if there are 100 people in your target audience, there are some of them that are the best. They're the ones that always click through and get stuff. Then there are those that sometimes click through to get your stuff. And then you have the bottom feeders who, if they feel really compelled, they'll do something. So let's use this example of 100 people in a target audience. If your competitor comes in and they spend $2,000 a month against these 100 people, and you're like, I'm not sure if Facebook's going to work, so I'm going to put $20 in there. Okay. Guess who gets the good leads? Not the $20 person. Okay. They get the bottom feeders because Facebook's like, oh, you over there with the cash, you get the top line people. So they're going to get the campaign that's working like gangbusters because they've got all the right people, the top level quality people funneling over into their lead funnel. And you at $20 are getting kind of whatever's left over, right? So the people who say Facebook ads don't work, they're the ones who are afraid of investing some money into it. They think that testing at $20 for like a month is somehow going to generate anything. It won't. I mean, if you want to guarantee that Facebook ads don't work, just do that. And then you can go and you can, there's proof. Look, it sucked, right? I had someone tell me that.
Budget, say $100, it's better to say, do it for 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
$100 whatever it works out to.
Yep.
Versus $100 over a month. Right?
Exactly. So what I normally do, it's kind of like how my husband plays poker. Okay, I don't like poker. I went through a very rough time as a single mom for a long time. Every time I see someone playing poker, I'm like, that's groceries. What are you doing? Just give it to me, gamble it away. Oh, look, you lost. I can eat, right? So I had a really hard time with this. And then he explained it to me. So he does well. He says, Rebecca, you know what? It's my fun money. You know, you might take $200 and go buy a pair of shoes or go to, you know, watch theater. I love theater. And he says, my fun time, I play poker. I'm like, okay. So he has a budget. He says, I will go in, I will spend $400. Once I've gone through it, I'm out, right? It doesn't railroad out of control. So in the same way, you need to assign a test budget to your ads and say, my fun money for tests for ads is $400. And in order for me to really get a good read, I got to do that $400, not over like a year, but I'm going to do it in a month. And maybe I'm going to test 4 different ads, 1 per week. And I'm going to assess what they look like at the end. I'm going to pick my winner. I'm going to scale up and go. Okay, so that's how your budget can affect the effectiveness of your ad. And that's how targeting can also affect the effectiveness of your ad. Alrighty? So creative, targeting, and budget. You get those three things like really well aligned and you're gonna do just fine. All right? Okay, I promised you the new rules. So the 20% rule is no longer in existence. Yay! It's actually boo. Because what they've done is they've created a new category. And that's called, this is literally from Facebook, what these are called, okay, low, medium, and high. All right? And they're in descending order of shown to the world, shown to few of the world, yeah, you're not going to get too many people here, and no one's seeing this at all. Okay, so that's how that goes. And I've got examples. This is what's considered an okay ad. Okay, you've got one big honking image, apparently eggplants, and a logo. This ad will be shown to the maximum number of people in your target audience. Okay, what I hate about this ad is there's no context. Okay, so this ad doesn't, unless I can identify that this is actually local produce and that means something to me, it's just eggplants. Okay, this could be for any company in the world, unless I know what Jasper's is. Okay, so, but just so you guys know, if you want an ad that gets the highest reach, you actually have very, very, very little to no text on that image. Okay, so unless you can come up with an image that perfectly conveys what it is you guys are trying to get across, okay, then you're going to have a problem. But if you can, this is how you want to use it. So if you can get an ad and the image itself conveys the message and you don't have to put any text on it, your ad will do the best. Okay, that's called okay. This is called low. This is the current 20% rule. Alrighty, so this is what it would look like if you had what they considered low. You're going to get what they consider slightly less reach. No one gives me a number, but it's between 10 and 15%, according to my non-on-the-record guy at Facebook. Okay, so it's not a disaster, but you're going to, if you tested this against the okay ad, this one's not going to do as well. Alrighty, and this is like going after the same target audience, right? So it doesn't have any effect there. This is considered medium. This ad is considered to definitely get less views, clicks, and therefore leads. Okay, so they added, I don't know if you can see at the bottom there, they added another tagline. So really, when you look at it, it doesn't look like it's taking up much space, but Facebook calculates space not by the size of the font, it's by how much space it takes up. Okay, so if you want to kind of cheat the algorithm a little bit, you'll stack your words. Okay, don't make it long, make it stacked, try to make it in a little box, right? Try to put it in a bubble or something like that, because that'll kind of cheat the algorithm a little bit. But essentially, this is how much, and you can see that's really not a lot of copy, but this one is, we're skirting disaster with this one, okay, in terms of how many people are going to see your ad. And then this one is basically never going to get shown. Okay, so, and that's just, they're clear. Unless you pay a gajillion dollars and you get what's called an exemption, which is Coke, Nike, Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, all those guys, you're not going to be able to get an ad through with this much copy on it. Okay, I can kind of see what they're getting out with. They're just going along with research they've done for years of the less copy on the image, the better the image does. So there is a correlation. However, sometimes it's really difficult when you want to say something and knowing that any words you put on this image is now going to harm your ability to get good reach. Okay, so err on the side of less copy. So it's the yay, the 20% rule is gone. Boo, they've just made it worse for all of us. Because there never used to be the tiered, like, okay, whatever. It was 20% above, rejected, 20% below, everything's good. Now we have these tiers. Okay. Other text rules. What also counts as text? Your logo, that counts as text. Watermarks, also text. Numbers, also text. Okay, so pretty well anything you stick on there that's not that's not, you know, something numeric or alpha is going to be considered text, with two notable exceptions that are really going to apply to all of us. Book covers and product images. However, you can't zoom into the product image or the book, so it focuses on your logo. Because if you do, that's called cheating and you get kicked out. Okay, so really, unless you're writing a book, if you are writing a book, that's great. You can show your book cover, and the book itself with the words on the book will not be considered as text. Anybody do any campaigns where you offer like a free download or an ebook or something like that? Okay, make a book image and overcome the problem. So if you make it look like a book and you put words on the book, you can overcome the 20% rule by making it look like a book cover. Okay, so if you have a graphic designer, make it into something that looks like a book, and you'll be able to hopefully overcome this this problem. All right, and of course, if you're selling,
Will you know that they're recognizing it as a book? Or...
the only way you'll know is if you do a book cover and it gets good reach, then you'll know that you've skated through. If you do a book cover with a lot of text on it and no one's seeing it, yeah, they got wise. Yeah, so these are the two notable exceptions, the only ones that you have there. This is one of my favorite ads in the whole wide world. This completely violates the whole 20% rule, and this is probably for us what would be considered catastrophic in terms of the amount of text. However, it's Tim Ferriss. For those of you who don't know him, he wrote this wonderful book called The 4-Hour Workweek. Inspired me to start my business. That's why I cyberstalk him relentlessly online. Okay, but I also like his ads. He does really good ads. So what I did was I broke this down for you into why I like this ad so much. The first thing he does at the top is he comes out with a question. Always start your ads with a question, but don't use what I call realtor speak. So in this one, it's thinking of breaking out on your own. Okay, so if someone says yes, you read on. If someone says no, you don't want them anyway. Okay, now what some realtors will do is, are you a first-time home buyer? That's realtor speak. Okay, unless I'm actually buying my first home, like writing the contract, as John and Jane consumer, I'm not a home buyer. Right? Now, change that up to thinking of buying your first home. Heck yeah, of course I am. Right? I'm thinking about it. I'm not there. So don't try to avoid categories. Okay. So really get someone else to read it and just say, do you relate to this? But if you can avoid things like labels or categories or stuff that realtors use that John and Jane consumer wouldn't, then you're going to do better. Okay. Then he follows up with a high value statement. Start getting more done in less time. Okay. That's a delivery. So if I'm going to be, signing up for something, your newsletter, why do I care? All you're going to do is send me listings. Prove me wrong. Okay, so if this is 3 ways to win a bidding war, what is that going to do for me? Oh, I'm not going to lose 13 times in a row and then like give up. Oh, okay, right? You're going to show me how, right? So those kinds of campaigns can work really well, but you ask the question and you say, this is what you're going to get. That's why I love this ad. Now in his ad, he's got way too much text, but even if you extracted one of those 4 things he's got there, it's high value stuff, right? 10 times your output. Okay, I know what I'm getting. I will be more productive. Maybe not 10 times more productive, but 10x your output is better than significantly improve your performance. 10x your output. Secrets of top performers. Exact tools and tactics, right? So no fuss and mother, don't waste your time. Exact stuff and strategies to stop wasting your time. Totally clear. It's got a start here button. Now, you can't actually click that button. I know it looks like you can click that button, but you can't click that button. But if you click that button, it blows up the image, and then he's got the URL assigned to it. By the way, if you have a button, so if you have a landing page of any kind, the color for the button is green or orange. The worst color is red, which means don't do this thing. Okay? Don't use red. Even if it's your brand, don't use red. Okay? Don't use purple either. That's almost as bad. On the bottom, he's got time is money, 10x your productivity today. So instant gratification. If you can offer someone something instantaneous, they'll be like, woo, sign me up. I can do this right now. Doot, doot. Right? That's what they really want to hear from you. And that bottom part there, that's a credibility statement. That statement there barely appears in a mobile ad. Okay, so that's for the desktop newsfeed only. There might be like 50 characters that show up on a mobile ad. So be very, very careful. If you're doing an ad and you really want it to be optimized for mobile, check your creative before you hit place order so that it looks okay. Because sometimes it gets cut off and it gets cut off really weird. This is a perfect ad. Okay, so we've got him. He's trying to build his brand, so he's in the picture. Okay, and there's a reason he's looking towards those words. If you want someone to do something, you look towards the area where you want them to do something. If he wanted me to click that learn more button, he could point to it. You can look down at it. You can have arrows pointing down at it, lots of different, it increases the chances of someone doing something. We are little sheep. We did not graduate from kindergarten. We stayed as small children. Okay, so the more you tell people what to do, the more likely they are to actually do it. So we talked about setting your budget, but here's the thing. So say you're running an ad, okay, and your ad is sucking wind, and you flip to a lead ad, and it still sucks. Double your budget. It could be that the target audience you're going after is highly, highly competitive, which means a lot of other advertisers are in there. Your ad budget comparatively is very low compared to everybody else's, so you're getting the bottom feeders. Before you kill your ad, before you have your budget, double it first, okay? Because when you think about it, it kind of goes up like this in terms of value. If you're down here at the bottom at that point, by doubling your budget, you move up into the mid-range. Now you're cooking with gas, okay? Now your ad is going to perform, or at least it has the greatest chance to do so. So before you kill an ad, before you cut the budget, double it. See if it works. Run that for 5 days. Okay, you're not going to go broke. I promise you. Okay, see what your results are. If they're significantly better, you know you have a very competitive group, and you're going to have to reevaluate how much marketing money you want to spend against this and the quality of leads coming through. If it's still sucking, you blow it up and you start again. Every ad, by the way, has a relevance score. Anybody heard of relevance scores for ads? Yeah, a couple of people. All right, relevance score of 1 to 10. It means, do people care and are they clicking? It means, did you pick the right image? Did you use the right word? And is your targeting good? And does your budget properly assigned? Okay, so it's all of those 5 things. If there's a problem with one of those 5 things, your relevance score is going to drop. If you run your ad and you run your ad for 5 to 7 days, that's how much time you need to test an ad, 5 to 7 days. If your relevance score is 1, 2, or 3, stab it in the eye, turn it off, start again, okay? Like all over again. Because what happens is if you have it, like for instance, I run an ad and it's a relevance score of 2. If I go and I change that image saying, oh, that'll fix it, what's happening is there's a hangover effect because that ad has already been assigned a 2. What you should do is kill the ad, start a new ad with a new picture, and give it a chance to optimize. Run that for 5 to 7 days, okay? So when you're making adjustments to an ad, you don't change an existing bad ad. You kill the bad ad and you run a brand new one with whatever changes you're running through. Okay, that's how you avoid the hangover effect. So 1 to 3, kill it, change it, retest it, and see if you can fix it. 4 to 5 is kind of skirting the disaster zone. Okay, it's okay. You're probably going to get decent leads from it, but you could be doing better. So that one you can maybe check modifying your targeting, maybe change an image. That one you can probably change within the existing ad, and it's not going to hurt you too bad. 6, 7, 8, those are really good. Those are solid scores. 9 and 10, you're a rock star. Take a screenshot and send it to me. Okay, 9 and 10s are really great. The only 10 I've ever seen was a realtor who did a lead ad for a listing. Okay, it got a 10 because people loved it so much. It's Niagara Falls. And it was a crappy little house, and it wasn't like this beautifully done thing. Actually, no, sorry, it wasn't a crappy little house. It was a cute little house. Sorry, the crappy little house was another ad he did. This was like a cute little bungalow, and he targeted downsizers. It was absolutely perfect for those people, which is why Facebook gave it a 10. Okay, good targeting, good budget, right? Excellent delivery of it was a carousel ad, so it had a whole bunch of pictures, and it got a 10.
You find that in Ads Manager?
Ads Manager. You start a campaign, you click through the ad set, you click through to the ad, scroll to the right, it's going to be right there. Okay? Your ad, though, it needs 5 to 7 days to let that thing roll. If you have a good ad, right, you got a 7, 8, 9, don't stop it. Keep it going because it will re-optimize and continue to improve over time. Okay, so a good ad will kind of like get better with it. It's kind of like wine. It's better with age. A bad ad, yeah, off it goes, and sort of restart again. So do I have time to go over integrations, Dave? I don't know how long I've been talking. Oh, 49 minutes.
You can talk as long as you want.
All right, you guys good for automation? I love automation. Yes.
I just want to ask you, On the ads, do these ads show up in the body like of your news feed, or are they?
Yes, they're news feed ads, either desktop or mobile. Most often mobile. Okay. You know what? I've run lead ads and I've made it available to go run on desktop and mobile. 97% of them end up being on mobile.
So when you create an ad, you would create an ad.
Yep.
How do you know you're creating this kind of a lead ad?
Because it says, so when you go to create ad, you have all the different options available to you, all the different ad types, right? So the objectives, one is, I can't remember what's called, collect leads for my business. It has the word leads in it. Okay, so you look for, there's 3 different categories. It's in the middle. Nope, it's not, doesn't have the word conversion in it. It says, it's either generate leads for my business or get leads for my business or whatever. Website conversion ads are totally different. Those use pixels. And it's a whole other kettle of fish.
But that's not on here, right? Website.
Are you on an iPad?
I'm on a Mac.
Or you're on a Mac? I can go take a look. I can show you in a second. Once we're done, I'll do a quick show of how you actually do that. Okay? So, one of the things I love to do. Oh, yes, sorry. Do you have a question?
I was wondering how council-friendly is Facebook? Like, is there a checkbox or something?
When you create a lead ad, you actually have to include a link to your privacy statement. So for all of you guys, if you have websites where you're collecting contact information, you should have a privacy statement that explains the whole castle thing, right? So what am I signing up for? If I say yes to submitting this form, what am I opting in for, right? Most of the time, and again, you guys should check because real estate industry is different from mainstream industry. Okay, so I'm not a realtor, so I am not 100% equipped on giving you guys like the golden rules. So please do check with your broker managers, do check with Rico, check with, Dave, anybody who has, information about this kind of thing. But the way I understand it, when someone submits a form, right, on the form, it must provide access to a privacy statement that explains exactly how you plan on using that data and what I'm signing up for. With the lead ad, that is part of it. If you don't have a privacy statement, you cannot create a lead ad. Okay? If you don't have one, your broker manager might have one, your brand would have one. You can get it off the internet, you can talk to a lawyer. There's lots of these things are like they're created all over the place. Everybody has one, especially in Canada now.
It should be on your website.
Has to be on your website. Well, to be safe for you guys, I would say put it on your website or refer to it somehow so that you guys are compliant. When someone submits a form, though, that is consent. So if I just took your business cards and then I stuck you into my CRM and emailed you relentlessly, that's against Castle. If, however, you say, I want your newsletter, Rebecca, please and thank you, well, now I can email you as long as I have unsubscribe. There must be a way to unsubscribe from every single email you guys send. Okay, so that's also Castle required.
Who owns the data? Like, does Facebook reuse the data? Or?
Can Facebook reuse the data? Well, Facebook will reuse the data, but you have to download it from Facebook unless we go through this integration, which allows for the automation. Okay, so you got to go in and get that data off of publishing tools so that you can keep it. Otherwise, Facebook's gonna hold on to that. Okay, and Facebook tracks everything you guys do. So just in case you're wondering. Okay, I love automation because I'm okay.
You're fine.
Okay, good. I'm just waiting for the cane. Yeah.
Oh, there's no cane, Rebecca. You can
No
stop-
cane?
you can stop-
Woo! All right.
Start to leak, one of the things.
Oh yeah, don't leave, please. It makes you cry. Okay, so automating stuff is awesome. Okay, so Facebook is working on a series of automations. This is something that I see them continuously improving over time, and that makes me really damn excited because I pretty well automate everything. So I do webinars. Basically, I create these wonderful campaigns, and I use Infusionsoft, and I create these campaigns. So once I've built out everything, all I need to do is run an ad. And it goes literally flows all the way through until someone books a call with me and it automatically gets stuck into my calendar. That makes me excited. There's no manual errors in there. There's no me forgetting to do something, right? So automation is definitely where you want to go if you want to become, like if you really want to use lead ads for your business and you don't want to introduce human error like I always do and forget to do stuff, okay? So there are different levels of providers of who you can use. I'll tell you who I use. I've got 2 top recommendations for you that you can go and you can explore, but it's completely up to you. This system will work without automation. Okay, so you don't have to do this. I'm telling you, if you want to automate it and have a clear path for your automation, these are the systems you should use. Okay, so the first one is direct integration. So if you have any one of these systems that you're using, most common one that realtors would be using would be Constant Contact. What will happen is you can actually say to Facebook, when someone downloads this form, send it into my CRM. It automatically flows into any one of these systems that you see here. Okay, anybody using any of these? 1, 2, 3? You guys are so lucky. Okay, I'm not on this list. Infusionsoft is not here, which makes me sad, but that's okay. I'm really hoping that they're going to keep working on it. MailChimp is also working actively with Facebook to also create a direct integration. So a direct integration means you don't need a middleman. You don't need what I call a bridge technology. Okay, so you can get it so that you don't even have to go into publishing tools. It will feed the information directly into your CRM and continue whatever automation tag sequence that you want to create. Okay, these are what are called full lead ad solution partners. Okay, so they build direct connections into CRM and email providers. So if you want to create a custom lead generation system into your particular CRM, these guys can build it for you. I'm telling you, this is not necessary. This is really enterprise level stuff. For realtors, it's can get really expensive, so it's not necessarily something that I recommend. But this next, this next one, these are ones that will be able to read information that comes through Facebook lead ads. Okay, the one on the, Infusionsoft, MailChimp, those are probably the most common one. I don't know if you guys are using anymore. Anyone use MailChimp or Infusionsoft? Yeah, a couple people? Yeah, okay. So for these ones, you need a bridge technology. Okay, it will work. So the forms you create on Infusionsoft, MailChimp, or anything on this list will match up to the form that you create on Facebook lead ads. Okay, so it will read the information back and from one to the other. Problem is there's like a bit of a gap in the middle, okay, because they do not integrate directly with the API quite just yet. Now, these are really big companies, especially MailChimp and Infusionsoft, so you bet your bottom dollar they're working real hard to be in that top list of direct integrations. But right now, at least if you create a form on Infusionsoft, okay, it will actually drive the information from the lead ad in here. What you need first is a bridge technology. Those top two are the top two that I recommend. I currently use REMarkTO. Okay, Zapier is also one. These are paid technologies. They are not free. There are a lot of technologies with Zapier that are free, but the Facebook lead ad connector is not free. I believe it's $50 a month US. Okay, so now a lot of Zapier stuff starts out paid, but then becomes free. Okay, so you can think about using that. Any of these ones work. Sync to CRM, that's a new one. If anybody wants to get super duper fancy with your Facebook lead ads, and you want, like, say for instance, you're running a couple of lead ads. You got one lead ad for a newsletter and one lead ad for, say a campaign where you're offering something. You can actually have them come into, by going through Sync to CRM, they can come into your Infusionsoft, get different tags, and get a completely different automated email sequence and also a completely different retargeting campaign. Okay, so retargeting means that, I saw an ad on Facebook, you wanted me to sign up for something, I signed up for that thing, but what you really want me to do is you want me to call you. So when I go back into Facebook, I'm not going to see another ad for what I just did. The ad I'm going to see is an ad to call you. It's called retargeting, right? You're ascending people up through your sales funnel. It's a phenomenal way of monetizing the people who come through your lead funnel and getting them to do more with you. That requires pixel technology, or pixel code that you put onto the website. If you're interested in that, let me know. I can chat with you about it. I just taught a whole course on how to do it. It's really awesome. It actually sounds really complicated, but once you get down to the nitty gritty, it's actually not that hard. Okay, so this technology is what you're going to need. Again, I use REMarkTO. I use Connect Leads. They have several different products you can use. Zapier is also really good. I find Zapier, quite frankly, the easiest to use, but when I started down this road, they didn't have it. Now they do have it, so I'd probably put them at the top of my list, And then I would go Connectio as a secondary option. Zapier's got exceptionally good customer service as well. So if you don't know much about this, you're like, blah, blah, I want this to work. They will help you. They'll do the blah, blah. Yep.
One thing that I find is when I start down a road and I use a Zapier or I find something that's really working well, sooner or later Salesforce.com buys it.
Yeah, they're a bit of a monster. They like to eat things. Yes.
It's like a cancer.
Yes.
Spreading them. And then you lose it. Like you have to integrate it with a Salesforce.com platform. Like sooner or later, we all going to use Salesforce.com.
I hope not. I don't really like them. But I mean, I don't really have a comment on that in particular because as far as I know, they're not being bought by anybody. But it could happen to any of these guys that they get bought. SyncSumo and Sync2 CRM, they're out of the UK. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who knows the people who started both of those. There are much smaller companies. I know Sync2 CRM, this is her 5th company that she's built, and she's just building them to sell. She's a gajillionaire. So I would say the ones in the bottom, you're more at risk. The ones at the top, less so, especially Zapier. Zapier is the biggest. I would be most surprised if they bought it, but I can't guarantee you they won't. Okay, so if you want, I can actually build one. I know we're starting at 8 o'clock. Do you guys want me to show you real quick how to actually build one? It's pretty straightforward. All right, let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to look at this and do teaching at the same time. Okay, so this is my Facebook, right? Tra-la-la-la-la, and I'll accept that. So you go through and you create a lead ad just like you would create any other ad. Okay, so you go to create ads. It's going to give you all of the different ad types that you can create. The one that you want to pick is this one. So collect leads for your business. That's the one I was talking about. So collect leads for your business. That's what you want to do. You can name the campaign. I'm not going to go through all the different sort of steps of creating an ad. That's a whole other topic. But here you go through and you choose your audience. Sorry, first you choose your Facebook page. Right, so I'll type in mine. If you only have one page, it's the only one that will show. As you know, I manage accounts for people. You choose your audiences. Okay, so who do you want this to go to? This is where you make sure your targeting works. Okay, so you can do that. This is where you choose whether you want it to be only on mobile or if you want it mobile and desktop. Okay, I recommend if you're just starting out, do both. Run it for 5 to 7 days. If desktop sucks wind, you take it out. Okay, you can always go back and edit that kind of a thing out. You then set your budget, right? So just you guys know, there is daily and lifetime. I personally recommend lifetime. The reason is daily budget is, say you got $10 a day, and for sake of example, just because it's easy math, every click is worth $1. After 10 clicks on your ad gets removed and then only replaced in the next 24-hour period. If your ad people really love and you go through those 10 clicks by 9 a.m., you've lost the rest of your day. Lifetime allows you to ride the wave. What you can also do if you choose lifetime is this really cool thing called ad scheduling, where you can say, I want to run my ad at certain times of day. So if you know when your clients are online, by the way, you will know when your fans are online, go to your Facebook page, check out your insights, go down to posts, and you'll see exactly when your people are online, okay? You can choose to say, I want my ad to run from sort of early morning, but I want it to go till 11 o'clock at night. My biggest click time is 10 p.m., okay? Because that's when people are their kids are usually asleep, they're hanging out, they're all on the couch watching their favorite shows. I don't know about you, but every time the commercials comes on, I'm like, beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, right? That's why usually in the evening you get a lift, so you can do that. Okay, you name your ad set, which is your audience. You hit continue. Now you can build your ad, so you can see images, slideshow, or video. Okay, so slideshow is the carousel, and then you've got your video. Totally cool to use those. Yes, sir.
Can you show us one of these carousel ads? I'm not sure I've ever seen one.
They're the ones where if you see an ad, instead of it being a big picture, it's like little squares, and then there's a little arrow that you can hit to scroll through them. So I'm not too sure if it'll show you what this looks like. I'd have to upload a whole bunch of them. So if I have time afterwards, I'll show you. Oh, he's got it? Okay. Cool.
I didn't know about the relevance, but I looked it up and it was.
You got a 9? Up high. All right. Okay, so this is where you make sure all that ad stuff I told you about, this is where you make sure that it all happens, right? You've got the right text, you've got the right image, you got all the good stuff in it. Oh, by the way, any guesses on which one of those sign up buttons are work best? You've got apply now, download, get quote, learn more, sign up, and subscribe. Any guesses? No, because it's 8 o'clock at night and I've been talking for an hour. Learn more. It is the least pushy kind of a button. Okay, so Adespresso, they did some research and it showed like way more than anybody else. Learn more does better. So don't use download if you can avoid it. Yep.
Should I do lead ads through my business page or personal?
You can only do ads through a business page. Okay, so if you don't have a business page, everything I'm teaching you is a complete waste of your time, right? So go get a page and then you can run the ad. Okay, so you must have a business page in order to run. And this is not just this ad, it's any ad. Okay, let me know if there's any other questions that I need to field online. Okay, so we're going to choose learn more because it does better. We're going to put all our information in. And now at the bottom, if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see at the back, it says lead form. This is where you choose the fields of information that you want to collect. I have children. Haha. Cool, I'm a ninja. Yeah. Except my son's 13-year-old friend decided he'd be a ninja, and at a pool party on Saturday flew through the back door. It was a screen door, but still, it landed on rocks. It was not pretty anyway, but he was cool. Anywho, so you want to create a form. You can create a new form or you can duplicate an existing form. I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to show you how to create a brand new one. So we'll click new form. You hit next. You give it a name, right? So if you want to call it whatever, I'm going to call it REMarkTO test. Okay. And then you click next. Now you have this option for a context card. I don't recommend you use a context card. A context card is in case you want to give them more reasons to do what they came there to do in the first place. Okay, so when they see your ad, they're going to see your image or video or carousel, and they're going to click learn more. Every time you make someone click between where they started and where you want them, you decrease conversion by 15%. So unless there's a really damn good reason as to why you need to explain yourself, don't do a context card. Okay, this is really good if you're offering an additional bonus, right? Or if there's an additional offer. But usually in real estate, you guys will go to jail if you do that. So don't. Okay, so we're gonna do not now. Now we have the information. So right now on the screen, it says email and full name. When you show more options, this is all of the stuff that is already preloaded or that people can put into their profiles that will be preloaded when you add it as a field. So you can do first name, last name instead of full name. I choose full name because it's easier, collects better. When you do first name, last name, it usually takes the full name and puts it in twice. It's really irritating. Phone number, street address, city, state, blah, 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 blah. Okay, generally speaking, just go for phone number. Okay, unless you have a really good reason. Like if your offer is, what's your home worth? Well, you kind of need to know where they live, right? So you might put address in there. Keep in mind that if they have not updated their profile and they have an old address, that old address is going to appear unless they fix it. Okay, so keep it simple. You can add a question. So if you hit add question, you've got a couple of options. You can add a custom question. So you can make it up, or you can add all these ones. There's automotive, education, e-commerce, B2B, professional services, and a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't relate to you guys at all. Okay, so there's really no great advantage. I say stick to the short and sweet, email, full name, phone number, you're good. Okay, so then you hit next. This is your privacy policy. So you have to provide a link. Okay, so you'll note that next is grayed out. Until I provide a link and an email and some text in here. So I'll just call this privacy. And I put my privacy. Okay.
So does it have to be on its own page, or it can be at the bottom of a different page?
I usually recommend you make it its own page. You can make it a hidden page, so you can't navigate to it, like it's not a part of a menu bar. Like my privacy page, if you land on my website, it's not one of the menu options. Right. But if you click on privacy statement, it'll flip open to this, right? So that's what I usually recommend. Okay, so that is my link. Now I can go next, and I can go to the next step. add a link to your website. What happens at the end of a form, so as you go through the form, I see your ad, I click learn more, I see my form, I click submit. The last thing you have is now a link to a website. Okay, so if you have, say for instance, you have a video that you want to do like a thank you video. Thank you for downloading my bleep blah bloop, right? You can teach them something. Those are the best landing pages actually, like best thank you pages are the one where you're saying thank you, but you're doing a video and teaching them something. Right? Just hand out your stuff for free. Oh, I want to tell you my best experience with the bidding war and how I applied the 3 tips that I just gave you in that document. Let me tell you a little story. Da 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 da. People listen to stories. If you're just going to teach me fact, bye-bye, see you later. You tell me a story, I'm like, oh, Steve is telling me a story. I will listen to Steve because I like stories. People will do that. The more you can wrap what you're saying into story, the better. So create that thank you landing page. If you don't want to, you can send them to your website, but you got to send them somewhere, right? I can't read that. I can't type and do this at the same time. Whoa. This is very small on my screen. Okay. You hit next. Now it's just going to show you your form. Okay. So it's going to, and by the way, this is actually nothing like what it's going to look like. What I really hope Facebook does at some point is actually show you like what your final product is going to look like, but they kind of put little grayed in areas. Anyway, so when they click on that on your ad, so when they click learn more, they're going to see this email and full name. The next thing they're going to have is phone number, right? It looks like this on your screen. When they see it, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just so you guys know that that's actually what it looks like. And then this is the last piece. So once they've hit, submitted all that information, they go to here. And that last website I put in there, which I recommend you guys do a video thank you page. That's what they hit when they hit view website. You can't change those words, unfortunately. I think we should be able to, but Facebook won't let us. So it says view website. Once you're done, you just hit create form and you're finished.
Can you use that same form for every single ad?
Nope, you can use the same form because at the beginning you were given the option for, so this is this form. If these are my pre-existing forms, I can just go and pick it, right? And it runs in the same way. And if you've integrated, it'll go with the same integration. If you have a different campaign and you want it to be integrated differently, you have to create a new form. But if you just don't mind it going through the same thing, Bob's your uncle, away you go. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you guys, and then I promised Dave I will shut up. It happens on rare occasions. So I'm going to show you someone that I work with. Okay, so this is my friend in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he runs a lead ad. Okay, so his ad sucked balls for a long time, and he was going to fire me, which I wouldn't have blamed him. But I switched it to a lead ad. So I hit to see his, because I want to show you guys where you get the actual information. So this is his business page. Remember, you have to have a business page to see this. You go to publishing tools at the top, right? And you got all this stuff. But what you want to go is you want to go to lead ad forms and forms library. There's his form. There's his leads. You hit download. You can choose what time frame. So if you're doing this every day, you don't want to necessarily get lifetime, right? So you can just choose the download or choose which option here you want and you just hit download. Drops it into a CSV file. Not going to open it because it's got his client information in it. He might be a little angry even if he is in Arizona. You just open that bad boy and it has everything. When they submitted it, the date, the time, they've got all of the information you collected. So email, full name, and phone number. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Again, if you integrate, this will flow right through to your automated CRM. If you don't integrate, you can take that information and upload it yourself, or you can just give them a call, right? Or follow through with whatever your ultimate promise was. So that, Dave's like, are you done? Are you done now? Are you done now? Is he finished? I am finished.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, isn't it?
That, my friends, is called lead ads.
Yeah. I had the good fortune of traveling with Rebecca in 2014 all over Ontario. And she always talks like this. It's amazing. It's just fantastic. Thanks so much. Are there any questions from the room? We had a number of people watching online. Laura, I hope you're out there in Collingwood. We had someone in Collingwood today. A friend of mine actually who went online and said, I need help with my Facebook ads.
Oh, very good.
Very timely, very timely. Are there any questions at all?
If anyone does need help with Facebook ads, like that's what I do. So I do two things. I will coach you on how to do it, or I will do it for you. So if you're like, yay, I want to sell real estate and do this, I can absolutely help you do that, from just running straight ads to running full on lead gen campaigns like I was running for this guy, to also actually pretending to be you and posting on all your social networks. So you literally don't need to touch it.
There's too much, isn't there? There's like an hour and 15 minutes. It's fantastic. It's, but it's just too much to take. I know you are. I know you just restarted.
And if you guys have any troubles with the stuff that I talked about, like I said, you can PM me or you can give me your business card. I'll send you the presentation from today. If you're trying to roll through it and you're still struggling with like, what the heck am I doing? Please do reach out to me. I always say that. No one does, because everyone thinks everyone else is. But really, no one actually does. Like 1 in like 500 people will actually even ask me a question. I would love to help you guys set these up. There has never been an ad type that has been more successful than these lead ads. All of the clients that I run, that I work with, I am flipping them almost exclusively to lead ads. They're that good.
Okay.
And that's all.
I just have to close out. So listen, thanks so much for coming. A lot of folks are here. It's their first night. Next month, we're meeting in Pickering at a bar. We'll be able to stay a little bit later. You'll be able to get food and a drink. And the topic is going to be virtual tours. We're going to have 3 different virtual tour providers, Matterport, Toursler, and I can't remember the name of it now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's gonna be some demonstrations and some information for people who find that interesting. Pass the word. It'd be great to have people come out. And thanks so much for coming to REMarkTO. Remarkable conversations. Right? Cheers.